Hey everybody, you know what time it is. It's time for, where's the camera? Hey, it's time for No Spring Chicken with April Walterscheid. Thank you for listening to, what is this, episode 4? Wow. You've been here the whole time? Or if you just started, thanks for joining us. It has been a week. Yeah, it has been a week. I went to, what's that show? The John Mulaney show. Everybody's Live with John Mulaney. I've been wanting to go since last May when it was part of the Netflix as a joke thing. But I finally went yesterday and it was a spring fling situation. I had to wear like, they emailed us like, hey, you got to wear spring fling stuff. And I was like, oh God, I'm not going to buy anything. So I better have something in my closet over here. It's just like a closet. It's not really a closet, it's just a rack of clothes. I better have something pastel because I'm thinking pastels. Like I'm thinking spring fling. And I'm thinking about how cold I'm going to be if I wear a dress. And I'm like, I better bring like 2 cardigans that are also pastel. But I get to the thing and a lot of people are wearing black. And I'm just like, was I allowed to wear black? I could have worn whatever I wanted. You just can't wear jeans. But they weren't really rejecting people like if you showed up in pants. They weren't like going like, "Hey, we have somebody from the other line to replace you who's not priority. We could replace you very easily." Yeah, I wore something pastel. I wore a yellow cardigan and like a one of my the dress that's in this that used to be by the window of my rack for my clothes. I wore the bleached out dress, but I turned it inside out so that it's just all pastel aqua blue green and not the side with the flowers because there's like a big old like white spot where the sun bleached it out. So I'm trying to repurpose the dress. I did it, and the dress had like a little stain on it, so I had to put a cardigan over it. My stuff in my closet gets stains on it. I don't know why or how. It's kind of like having a moth problem, but it's a stain problem. Like, I don't know. Maybe there's someone pooping across the street and flinging it in the air in LA and it's getting through my window. My window's closed, but maybe it's somehow getting through. I don't know. It's just this like reddish stain, but it was all good. And I brought like a coat and it ended up being like very nice weather because for these shows, I've been to Colbert, I've been to Taylor Tomlinson, I went to Jimmy Kimmel Live, and that I didn't have to wait for. I got in because I know someone who knows. I know a family member of the Kimmels, so I got in just because of my dad's birthday. I didn't have money that year to get my dad a birthday gift, so one of the Kimmel relatives got me into that show through the back. Like I got to hang out in the hors d'oeuvres section before going, like a little speakeasy they have back there before you go to the show. But it was fun. So I was at Colbert in New York City in February, and it was cold. It was like I remember looking up at a building while waiting, and it was said 7 degrees out, and I was like dressed in snow gear. But after like an hour and a half of waiting outside to go into Colbert, my snow boots started. I started feeling it through my thick vegan wool socks. I started feeling the cold. There's a girl standing with me who showed up in sandals. Yeah, sandals. What? She's from Florida, so I was like, "Oh, that explains it." Okay, you're from Florida. You don't know. But then she said she had lived there for 5 years, and I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing? You know what the weather's like." And she's like, "I know." I gave her my. I have like very thin gloves. I had like snow gloves on pretty much, but I had these like extra gloves that have little like skeleton designs on the outside, so it looks like your hand's a skeleton. But I gave her those. Did nothing for her, but it was nice. And then she waited inside of a cafe eventually while we were waiting outside. She was dying. I don't know. She should have walked, but she stuck through it. Women don't give up. We never give up. It's either give birth or stand on the cold. We don't. We have a high pain tolerance, I guess. She wanted to get drinks after Colbert, and then she walked away. Like after Colbert, she's like, "Let's get drinks," and then we just went. We parted ways. So I guess she's very LA, very much like, oh, we should get together sometime, and then you like never do. So John Mulaney, that was fun. Jessica Pratt was one of the performers, and I saw her 5 years ago. Okay, Isley is a band I like, as you know, and then there's a band called Sucre, like the French word for sugar. Offshoot of that band, it's started by Stacy Dupree, who was in Isley, and then she started her own band. She did a really good cover of "Can't Go Back, Baby" by Jessica Pratt. It's like "Can't Go Back," something "Can't Go Back," and she did like the best cover. And then I listened to the original, and it just makes me cry. But then she took the cover down. Otherwise, I would like post it for you guys. Sucre slash Stacy Dupree. She's married to the drummer of Mute Math, by the way. He's cool. He used to drum for like Seth Meyers sometimes. Maybe once or twice. I don't know. I just heard that he did. That's pretty cool. A little fact. Makes me feel like I like a really cool band who no one's really heard of. If you haven't heard of them, I feel so cool. If I know songs you don't know, I feel so cool. I'm always looking for the songs that no one's heard, or I've been addicted to finding songs that no one's heard of since my early 20s. But yeah, she started that band, and anyways, Jessica Pratt is like performing on John Mulaney's show, and I'm just like staring at her, and she kind of sings like this, kind of like "Can't Go Back, Baby." It's just like melodic, and I'm just like, there's a tear actually on this side. There's a tear just streaming down as I'm listening. I've never heard the song before that she's doing, and I just couldn't believe that she was on the John Mulaney show, and I never thought I'd see her live. She's very short. I was just very surreal. Like I didn't care about John Mulaney's, and I didn't care about anyone on John Mulaney except I was just like, Jessica Pratt. I never thought I'd see you in my life, and you're like right there. And yeah, I'm getting kind of emotional thinking about it right now. Actually, oh, a mutual friend. I don't really know her personally, but I'm in the stand-up comedy world, and she's also a New Yorker. I'm not a New Yorker, but I've been there. But Robbie Hoffman was on the show. I keep looking over here. Robbie Hoffman was on the show, John Mulaney's show last night, and I just couldn't believe it. I was extremely jealous. I'm like, damn. And when you see like someone who's very close to your age and they're very close to where you are at in comedy, like you're not in the same place, I guess, in comedy. Obviously, I'm not on John Mulaney's show, but someone your age and you're not too far off from where they are, or vice versa. They're not too far off from where you were, like they used to be where you are at some point. And it's almost definitely like a peer thing. And it's just like, fuck that person. They're up there right now. Like I'm happy for her, but I'm like, fuck you. Like, just no. I can't. And she's also on Hacks, which is amazing. I'm very LA right now where I'm like, oh, they're on this show and it's great, but really you're like seething underneath, and that's a typical LA thing, I think. But yeah, I want to be where she is. I want to be on a show like John Mulaney's talk show. I want to be on a talk show. That would be amazing. I'm afraid I'm going to get there when I'm like 60 because I'm 40. And Robbie Hoffman's like, I don't know, 40 as well, or 39. I don't know. But it's just, I'm on my 10th year of stand up comedy, and I'm just like, will it ever happen? Will John Mulaney think I'm so cool that he wants me on something? Or will anyone think I'm so cool that they want me on something? It'll happen. I just don't know when. And that's the thing. I'm looking at the affirmation wall that I talked about in episode 1. It has grown. I've added more stuff. And some stuff, if I look at it, I almost like hate it. I like want to manifest it, but I don't. So some of the stuff I hid behind my bed, like on the wall behind my bed. I put some more. I put stuff up on the wall, like these affirmations on my wall, so I don't have to like do it. I don't have to like keep it in my head and like repeating it in my head. I just have it all there. I'm like, the wall is gonna take care of it. Put it on the wall. On the wall is a bad thing in a lot of like TV shows. If you're on the wall, you're dead, like in Handmaid's Tale and Game of Thrones. But on the wall here is like, oh, it's going to come true. A few things have already come true. Some of it's just like, yeah, as I talked about in episode 1, some of it's just like to remind me that I choose to be passionate, happy, funny, fun to watch, optimistic, open, flexible, popular, have many close friends, and believe anything is possible, and believe in myself 24/7. So it's just stuff like that. No biggie. I like that everybody's live with John Mulaney. I like how there's no vowels just in the first word. There was a band I liked in 2006, very controversial, called Brand New. They're from Long Island. They had a demo, leaked demos that leaked on like Napster. I don't know where, LimeWire, somewhere it leaked. Their demos leaked, and they called it Fight Off. They called their demos around 2006. They called them Fight Off Your Demons, but people would say Fight Off Your Demos for fun. But I think they took all the vowels out, so it was like Fight Off. If you imagine Fight Off Your Demons, but no vowels. I think the Fight Off Your had no vowels, and then maybe the demos or demons had the vowels. I forget, but just reminds me of that. And seeing the no vowels thing reminds me of being 21 again. I'm just like, this is so cool. It's so who came up with the everybody's live having no vowels just on the everybody's? Like, was it just they didn't have enough room to make like a logo for Netflix? They're trying to make a cool logo for Netflix, and they're like, what if we get rid of the vowels? It's gonna look much cleaner and better. I don't know why they did it. Who cares? It's so freaking cool. It makes me feel cool just seeing it and like being there. I have notes. By the way, guys, why this podcast? If this is the first episode you've listened to, I have been trying so freaking hard not to post on my Instagram stories or my Facebook stories, which are linked to my Instagram. I would like a month or two ago, was just for years, just posting in my stories random stuff like what I'm doing on this podcast, random topics. And I recently got a comedy manager named Tony, and he's like, let's make a podcast where you don't hide in your stories and you don't post in your stories except for your comedy shows and how to sign up for your email list, which I need to post that again. Like, don't put stuff in your stories. Put stuff on your feed or on this podcast that you're doing. So he made this podcast for me. This whole podcast was his idea. He pitched it to me, and I'm like, I need something. Yeah, that's great. Let's do it. So that's why this podcast. Random topics. I do have a Google Docs where I keep track of stuff I want to talk about. I have a lot of paragraphs, but I have like bold titles so I know what that paragraph's about. I'm not going to say everything in the paragraph. It's mostly me just like at Whole Foods or driving and just like talking into my phone, like, let's talk about this, make a note about this. And then I just go back and add like these bold titles so I can kind of see it and know what it's about and not have to like go, oh my gosh, what does that paragraph say? Oh, speaking of Whole Foods, I went there last night and I was feeling a little bit risky. I'm not a risky person. I wish I was. I wish I was a psychopath or like a sociopath and just did risky stuff and everybody hates me. No, I went to Whole Foods last night and I felt really bold after the John Mulaney show. I was like, a guy came up. I got asked if I need help because I was in like the pastel dress that was turned inside out with the pastel aqua dress with the yellow cardigan. And I did like a little tie right here. I had this like floral tie on. So many people ask me if I need help. And I'm just like, maybe I look fancy in a sad way. Maybe I look like January Jones. It's a month name like mine. January Jones and I are like peas in a pod. Also, June Diane Raphael. But a guy came up. I was looking at the coffees. I'm really into decaf because, as you probably heard last week's podcast on episode 3, I was talking about how I had an espresso shot with matcha, and I was just like everywhere. I was just like, ah. So this week I'm playing it cool. I only had 2 servings of matcha, no espresso, and a stress support gummy, and I meditated. And I worked out for like an hour and a half. So this is where I'm at. This is my energy after all that. But I'm like looking at the coffees, and you just can't tell by each title of the coffee. Like some of them say "Jam in the Van." That's an open mic in LA for comedy. But let's just pretend that one coffee is called Seabirds. Like they have names, and it's like, is this decaf? I can't tell if it's a medium roast, but it's a decaf. They're not always like, one's called Slow Motion, but it doesn't really say if it's decaf. But if you like Google it, it'll tell you like, oh, it's a decaf. So there's just so many coffees. They're all way too much money. Like $20, whole bean. I only buy whole bean. I will not buy ground. I have an old KitchenAid grinder. I am not buying pre-ground coffee. That is for lazy people. People who don't care about coffee, or you're just in your 60s or 50s. You buy the pre-ground, that's fine. I still care about the quality of my coffee when it was made. I'm a snob, even though I don't drink it that much. But also, how I'm not a snob at coffee is I'm drinking decaf now because otherwise I can't really sleep at night. So that's how you know that I'm starting to accept lower quality coffee into my life. But I gotta get a good decaf, like a decaf Ethiopia. Anyways, a guy walks over from Whole Foods and he's like, "Do you need help, ma'am?" And I go, "Hey, actually, I do. Which coffees on this wall are decaf?" And he just looked at the whole wall of like whole bean coffees, and then he's like, uh, he kind of mumbled something and then walked away. And I thought he mumbled like, "Let me get some help for you" or something, or "Let me go look him up." Um, he did not come back. He just walked away. I only waited like a minute or two because I had like this vegan ice cream that was like melting in my hand, and I'm just like, I really want to eat this. After John Mulaney's show last night, I was craving a chocolate cupcake, a vegan chocolate cupcake that was like 400 calories. So of course I hightailed it to Whole Foods. I live in LA now. I never have a cupcake. I figured I deserve one. I'm gonna make it brighter on here. Let's see. Can I? I don't know. I deserve a freaking coffee. Sorry, I deserve a freaking no coffee, just decaf. I deserve a freaking cupcake. And I got a little bit of ice cream. Bought some new conditioner for my hair that was on sale. But I kind of waited a minute or two and then he didn't come back. But I was like, I just did some risky behavior. Yeah. I told this guy to explain all 30, there's probably like 50 coffees. I'm like, which one of these 50 coffees are decaf? Point them out. And then he just walked away. And I felt I felt like a sociopath. I was like, yeah, go April. I go to Whole Foods to smell candles to remind me of my home state of Arizona. I will just go and smell like every candle, and whatever one smells like Arizona, I'm just like, and I'm like, oh man, just like home. I say that after every candle that smells like Arizona. An Arizona candle has citrus, tonka. What is that? Clay? I don't know. Tonka, um, cactus blossom, of course, and Irish spring rain shower smell. It's very distinct, and golf courses. So that's how you know it's a really good Arizona candle. I have a Phoenix candle made by Homesick, and they don't make them anymore. So I have like the last one ever made. I got it on eBay for $400. It was an exclusive. It was really like $30, but yeah, I've been burning that. That one just smells like the Homesick candles are interesting because at first you're like, that doesn't smell like New York City, but then you go there and then you come back and like have the candle for a few months and you're like, yeah, it smells like that. It smells like cement and I have a New York City, the thing you like a little cardboard thing, like a scent. I don't know what it's called, but you hang it in your car and just like goes back and forth. The New York, because I went to New York City and I was like, I need to get one of these homesick things for New York City, but I don't want a whole candle, so I'm gonna get the little hangy thing for my car. Didn't even know they made those, and it smells like cement, trash, department stores, and Central Park. It's a lot. It smells really good. It smells like candy, but in the worst, nicest way. Oh, here's something else risky I'm doing. Please don't tell anyone. Please don't send this to a car insurance company. For the past 5 years, like I moved to LA in 2020, right before the pandemic started. I was on an insurance company that's very popular, very, very popular. I'm not going to say which one, but I kept it for Arizona. And then for the past 5 years, I've just had that insurance for Arizona, and it's like increasingly gone up. I have a great record, except when in Arizona, my car got vandalized. Like somebody punched it and then used like a crowbar to try to open the door, and I never fixed it because it was just my deductible's too high. And then somebody kissed it one year. It was really weird. They thought my car was someone else's. There was like another Kia Soul on the street, and like they probably thought it was theirs. I don't know. But yeah, I've had this Arizona insurance. I was paying like 150 something a month for this Arizona insurance, but I have roadside assistance. I have windshield. I only get like maybe a rock in my windshield once a year, so I need that. I need the windshield deductible thing where they just replace the windshield without charging you. I need that. But yeah, I switched to another car insurance company and I'm paying 50% less. But I didn't know that when you switch car insurances, you need to prove that you still live in Arizona. Even though you have a license, I still have my Arizona license, it's valid. My driver's license, I still need to like prove that I have an Arizona address. And I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? Because I thought I could just give them my previous car insurance's like garaging address, but they're like, no, we need something else. I'm like, what? So I actually opened up a renter's insurance policy for where my parents live in Arizona. So my parents, I think just my room, my parents' place is pretty much protected by this renter's insurance, or the garage is, it's either my room, the garage, or the whole house is protected. I don't know. My parents don't even know. But also, renter's insurance covers like my ring light, it covers my phone, covers my laptop. That's what I was told. But the guy at this insurance company, he's like, how can we prove your address? You don't have a mortgage, you're millennial, so of course you don't have that. You don't have anything else that we need. They ask for weird documents. They're like, do you have a marriage certificate? Do you have a mortgage? Do you have a what's your blood type? Like they have like weird requirements to prove that you are parked, that your car is at the address it's at. It's like stuff that you wouldn't have. Like what else? It's not even just like a rental agreement. I think they would accept that, but that wasn't like one of the first things that they asked for. They asked for like, are you in college right now? I don't know. Just I'm like I'm 40. I'm not in college right now. I'm on Duolingo. Does that count? So yeah, this guy at the car insurance company, I talked to him. He's telling me all about he's dumping on me as people do. Like I'm doing to you right now, but people in my life, I try to avoid people because they dump on me. Like I'm doing to you now. And you may not even really be there. I'm probably dumping to no one right now. But that's how sad my life is. People dump on me, but I can't dump on them. The stuff I have to talk about is exciting. It's not a downer as much as other people's bullshit that they dump on me about for 40 fucking years. But he was telling me about, like, I don't know, his time in Iraq. I don't know what he was talking about, but I'm like, he has PTSD. And I'm like, okay, don't kill anyone. Hope you get that under control. But he was very nice. But he's like, I gotta find a way to prove. And he found a way. He's like, we gotta open up this renter's insurance. And even having an umbrella of policies with this insurance company for my car, I opened up an umbrella of insurance services other than car and renters insurance, as if I'm a whole family just to prove my garaging address. I thought that was hilarious. But I'm even with all that, I paid for a whole year of renter's insurance too. I'm probably going to cancel it, which they're going to charge me like $50 to cancel it. But that is still saving me over about 60% off the previous insurance policy I had with the one with the animal. The one with the animal. Yeah, I even tried to get like LA car insurance, like just car insurance for California, and the bare minimum to where like they would like probably not cover anything, that was 150 on its own. Like no frills, just the state minimum, no roadside assistance, no free tow once a year if my car breaks down because it's getting older. I probably need that. No windshield replacement, the stuff I like, none of that. Just no car rental if something happened to my car. Stuff I never really use. Like none of that. It was just like, hey, maybe we'll cover your car accident. $150. Maybe 170 a month. It was crazy. So I'm really glad I can lie to people. I even told the car insurance people I switched to, I told them like, hey, I work in California like about half the year. And they're like, yeah, whatever. It's fine. We got to prove your garaging address. We're going to figure that out. They seem nice. So I hope that it's okay. I'm looking at my list of topics and seeing if, hey, I think my dad's in a cult. I'm just going to say it. I think my dad's in a cult because I was at my favorite boba tea shop. It's Boba Time in the LA area. I love the one on Wilshire and Highland. Please don't stalk me, but I love that one. I'm cutting down on boba tea, so I'm not there as much. I'm making it at home because I don't know what's going to happen. The future with the current president is so uncertain. We don't know. But my dad called me. My mom called me about her phone. She's like, something's wrong with my phone. Can you send a screenshot of your iPhone settings? Because I just updated to iPhone 18.1.4 or 18.4.1. And now, like, all my text settings and message settings are weird. You just take a screenshot of your messages screen. And then my dad got on the phone to talk about Trump and how I don't know. Their reception was cutting out for 37 minutes, but I was like working on something else. I was working on like I submitted myself for the Office spinoff. Like I actually mailed it and I'm going to also email a submission, but I mailed headshots and I spent like over $20 doing that. But I was getting that ready and a cover letter, like a little cover paragraph or something. Not too long. I know like casting people don't have a lot of time to read stuff. Allison Jones is casting it if you want to apply to that. But my dad was just like yakking at me, dumping on me like people do, and talking to me about how like the tariffs are great. And he has a business, and he's like, as far as I could tell, he's okay with losing his business just to support Trump, which I think my dad's a narcissist, but I think his mom is also a narcissist for sure. So I think my dad had just I think my dad, I think I'm using this correctly. I think he has Munchausen syndrome. So like I think if you like grew up with a narcissist, you're going to like Trump. I think those are the people that like Trump, business owners and people who kind of grew up with like the Trump type person, the malignant narcissist or any sort of narcissist. They probably really like Trump and they probably feel like, "Oh, this is very familiar. It's great. It's like being home." But yeah, my dad basically was like, it's for our own good. And I'm like, you're going to lose your business that you worked so hard for to keep going since like 1998. You're willing to lose all that? But yeah, my dad's brainwashed. So that was concerning. And I think I told you guys last week that the show You, season 5, drove me up a wall. This podcast feels very efficient, doesn't it? I love that. I love a tight podcast. Okay, last week I was talking about You, season 5, and how the last 2 episodes drove me up a wall because I've been around 5 narcissists in my life, and I could just see what his character was. Uh, the character, the guy in You, the main guy in You, Joe, was doing. I could just predict everything he was going to do, and like people were coming back from his old life. The previous episodes are coming back into his life to like try to convince him to be different. And I'm like, just walk away, stop. Like they're not. You cannot change this person. A narcissist you cannot change. But I made a post about that on my Facebook. And I think my dad hates that I have opinions because if he's if he's truly a narcissist like my therapist thinks he is, he doesn't like anyone having autonomy, especially not in his family. So me having opinions means I have autonomy and he fucking hates that. But I made a post about You and I said, on according to Google, narcs are statistically more likely to be male. Surprise, surprise. And my, you know, I think my dad commented on my post because he's a narc. I think it like, I think things that bother us on social media is because we think we're that, or we know someone who's that, or we know, like, we feel triggered by it because some part of us believes we are that. I think that's why things are triggering for us. And I think something about my post triggered my dad because my dad is very, I probably come across nonsensical, but my dad is even more so. He's an engineer and an inventor and just the most random person, even more random than me. And like Rick Moranis, but not as kind of fun to be around, but sometimes not, kind of like that on Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. My dad commented that he just randomly said a statistic about single fathers. He's like, well, statistically, single fathers are less likely to mess up their kids than single mothers. And I'm like, where is this coming from? Have you seen You? Have you seen the show? Because, like, Joe's a father, but not single because he married another person. He married a woman to help take care of his son as well. So, not technically a single father. But I'm like, where is this coming from? My dad's easy to just, like, run circles around, just like every Trump supporter. But yeah, I'm like, okay. I wanted to say I actually deleted his comment because my dad's always worried about getting doxxed. And I'm like, Dad, you're going to get doxxed. Let me delete your comment for you. But I wanted to comment like, hey, that was so random. So what did you think of You season 5? Season 5, Joe has a kid, but he's not a single father. But my dad doesn't have a high attention span to watch a show besides The Crown for some reason and 1883. Anything remotely Republican, he's going to watch that. So 1883, anything where like white people are winning and they're just high and mighty and like looking down upon people who aren't white. Like, he loves those shows. I had a joke about that. I should do that joke. I gotta look it up. It's on my phone, which I'm using to record this. Yeah, on my Facebook, my personal Facebook, with my dad's comments occasionally. He doesn't always comment weird stuff, but I feel like I have to be like this old school 1998 to 2006 like message board monitor and like moderator and like just delete stuff, and it's really sad. Oh, by the way, this is random. I need a theatrical agent. If you've noticed on my YouTube, I've been posting more theatrical stuff because I applied to that Office thing, the Office spinoff, but there's more like I joined an acting group online because I got like a free coaching session. He's the guy, Dan Warner, that like I booked a commercial recently and I've been trying for years, but because of his videos, I think that like catapulted me into booking this commercial for Bubbly. I got paid, so I think I can say it now. I think it's probably out soon. I don't know. I booked a commercial for Bubbly. That was the drink. And booked my first commercial in forever. Like my first commercial where I have a speaking role. I'm just all because of Dan Warner, but he gave me a random unspecified like scene to do, and then we did it on Zoom and he coached me and he's like, you should join my group online. And I joined, and then I submitted like another self tape just for the group, and oh man, I got trashed. The scene was real to me, but yeah, Dan was like not having it. He's like, how long did you practice this? I'm like, I did 4 takes on camera and that's it. And I looked it over before that for a few minutes. I think I need to spend more time on the scene. The scene wasn't bad. I just imagined my ex when I found out he was cheating on me. That was the whole thing. So it was very real for me, but I doubt it was real for anyone else, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I'm failing in that group, and that's good. I can learn something. I don't want to be a serious actor, but I think if I need a theatrical agent, I need to like. I have a theater degree. Um, Took me 8 years to get. I started it in like 2003, got it, finished it in 2011. It's really sad. Yeah, but I'm proud of it. Don't worry. I worked a part-time job during all of that, so and I took some electives that I thought were fun. But yeah, I kind of want to like I just want to make more money. So I want to be on, I'm 40 and I'm thinking like I'm going to look way older soon. So I got to like really get in. I need to get booked on the Office spinoff. I need to get booked on stuff. So let's do it. Let's just kind of get back into acting and feel stuff again. Acting is very tedious, guys. I don't recommend it. We're at 35 minutes. Wow. Oh, is anyone watching Hacks? I am watching Hacks. There's a billboard on Pico where I'm fixing the lighting again. There's a billboard on Pico where I live, and it shows. Oh, that's too bright. I am so sorry, guys. I look like an Easter baby for sure. This isn't going well. Okay, there's a billboard on Pico Boulevard, and it shows. I forget everyone's name. The lady from Designing Women on the cover, like she's got her own late night show, and I'm just like, yes. It's late night. It's not daytime talk show. Yes. But it's just not real, so it's a bummer. Like there's been some women who have had late night shows on YouTube. Like Lily Singh had one. I think that was on after midnight. I forget. But that went away, and then Amber Ruffin had one, and then that went away. And it's just like everything great that women accomplish have to be written into a show. Like it's never real. That's what sucks. Like I might hit it big after 40, but I should have hit it big in my 20s, but no one believed in me. Or I think guys hit it big sooner, and that sucks. Fucking sucks. I hate it. But yeah, I think it's really interesting that like anytime the main characters have a squabble on Hacks, when they get into like an argument, their manager or agent, I forgot the guy, he's also a writer on the show, but he's always there to break it up. And I'm like, I need that. I don't have squabbles in my life like that, but I want my agent to just show up randomly and be like, "Hey, how you doing?" And not just when I have a comedy show. My manager will come to my comedy shows sometimes. That's really nice. But I think I just need to feel like I'm making it. So I need to feel like, oh, okay, I'm making it. My agent showed up when I needed help putting my groceries in my car. Whatever. I've almost talked about everything. Wow. Oh, I think my manager was concerned about my roommate situation on the last episode. Yeah, it's kind of not good, but it could be worse. I can't wait to move out. Um, what's weird about my roommates is I feel like I can't talk to them. I just don't talk to them. The current roommates, my favorite roommate is in Utah working, and that's why we have random roommates right now. But I mean, they dump on me, so I have to like set a boundary with that. Like, don't dump on me about your life. I don't care about your life. Okay, I care about my life. That's why I have this podcast, because no one else cares about my life except my manager and this podcast and myself. But okay, this is like the relationship with my one of my roommates. He's a Scorpio, very controlling. Scorpios are interesting. They're good as friends, but when you get too close or live with them, they get really weird. I don't know why. They get very contradicting of themselves. I might be contradicting in myself, but like they're a different type. Our stove like wasn't working. It just wasn't lighting up. And I bought like an $11 burner on Amazon just until like the landlord fixes it. I tell my roommate via text. I never text him, and now I know why, but I never text him. And I freaking learned my lesson to never text this guy or talk to him at all. But I text him like, "Hey, stove's not working, and I don't know why, but I am gonna have the landlord come out and just try to fix it." He like blamed me for it. My roommate, he turned around and said like, "Why didn't you tell me that it wasn't working?" I go, "I don't know. It just happened, last night I noticed it." And I bought a burner. I haven't used it yet, but I bought a burner so I could, because I hadn't cooked in days. I had been like dog sitting. I didn't really like cooked on the stove in a while. And I'm like, damn, I bought falafel. It's frozen. I want to cook. So I'm gonna buy a burner. Anyways, he sees it. He sees the burner. He brings it in because like Amazon dropped it off, and he's like, "Is that why you bought that burner behind my back?" And I'm like, "Dude, it's my money. Shut the fuck up." I didn't text him that. He was just going crazy. He's just sending paragraph after paragraph, and I'm like, "I'm just letting you know that I'm gonna get the landlord to fix the stove. I don't know why it's not working. 10 people have used it before I even moved in because my roommate has had a lot of roommates." So I'm like, I don't know. You've used it. It's like no one's fault, you know. But yeah, that was scary. But it could be worse, you know. He could be a gun owner. So I'm a stun gun owner, but it could be worse, I guess. I thought that was weird. And then he buys one, and I'm like, okay. But the stove got fixed. Half of it works. Two of the burners work. The other two don't for some reason. And my landlord's like, it's good enough. It's fine. I'm like, it's not fine. This place is a dump. But I do have a flower garden outside, so that's very nice, and I can see it. I'm growing flowers. The squirrels have not eaten my freesia yet. Oh, and then my roommate, he left a note. So my roommate in Utah, this is like very gossipy, I know. It's like very Gossip Girl. I've never seen Gossip Girl. I don't know that reference at all, so I probably used it wrong. But my roommate in Utah, I told him about the stove weeks ago, and he's like, "Oh yeah, leave a note for the roommates that you're getting it fixed." I should have listened because I mean, it's my roommate's fault that any of these people are here who are like these weird roommates we have. He's the reason they're here. Like, that's his fault. And I pay on time and I have to live with it. Some of them don't pay on time or at all. And I feel like I'm being punished for paying on time for years, but for 5 years, almost 5 years this November. But yeah, he said leave a note. But of course, I text the roommate and yeah. And then he left a note. The roommate I text left a note that we need to be mature, or someone. I think the other roommate or me or both, we need to be mature and have integrity. Meanwhile, he's like drunk every night playing video games. He's like, during the day, he like, before he goes to work, he like blasts rap music. So I can't even do a self tape. I'm afraid to talk to him. So I did not tell him to turn off his music. I am afraid of confrontation. I'm like Lady Gaga. I'm like, no, I don't want to confront. Can't confront. If I was a sociopath, though, I'd be all about it. Like, these are moments when I wish I was a sociopath. I would just confront him. Uh, that's the one superpower that sociopaths have that I wish I had. Well, we're at 42 minutes. This was a very efficient podcast. I hope I can get a good clip out of it. I do have a comedy show coming up on June 11th in Los Angeles. It's on Melrose Avenue. I think it's at 8 p.m. It's called Hot Dates. It's not that I have a hot date. It's just that the title is, I think, from what I gather, it's my friend's comedy show. And from what I gather, the premise of the comedy show is that you bring a date to the show so that they sell more tickets and that you have fun. You bring a hot date to the show. I won't be talking about hot dates. I could. I've had some weird dates. I could be talking about that. I haven't dated since 2016, so I don't know. But I'm on that. And then I'm going to be in the San Francisco area June 1st through June 6th. And I'm working on a San Jose improv spot because Hollywood Improv gave kind of sort of indirectly referred me to them. So San Jose Improv is like, oh, okay, you were referred by Hollywood Improv, basically. So like, we're gonna try to get a spot for you. And it's an hour out. It's like an hour and a half from where I'm dog sitting. I'm actually dog sitting in San Francisco. It's an hour and a half away, but I might be able to take a Tesla down there. I might. We'll see, or take an Uber. I don't know. I think my last episode I talked about how my dog sitting client has a Tesla and she said I could drive it last year, but I'm scared. So probably we'll just take an Uber. I don't want to ruin her car. Backing out just so I could There's a weird curve backing out of her driveway, and I don't want to hit that. I'm just afraid. She doesn't have self-driving mode. I'm just afraid I'll ruin her car or scratch it or something, even though she can probably afford it. I don't want to ruin her car. I'm very nervous about that. But yeah, it might be at the San Jose Improv. You can check aprilwalterscheid.com for dates on that, and then sign up for my email list too. I'll let you know when I'm performing. You can sign up for my email list and tell me your city, and I can go by city. So you won't, like, if you're in Texas, you're not going to hear about LA shows. But if I have a Texas show, which I've had before, my last Texas show was 2018, but it could happen again. Anyways, I really appreciate you listening. Please subscribe to my YouTube. Do it now. I'm going to wait, staring at you. Where are you? There you are. Subscribe right now. This is intimidation. I know. I don't like confrontation, but I can do it through the camera. Do it. Subscribe to my YouTube. I'm watching you. Thank you. Was that so hard? And thank you for listening. Thank you for being here since episode 1. Or if you just started on this episode, go back and listen to episode 1 through 3. Get caught up on my life. And thanks for letting me dump on you. Until episode 5. Bye-bye.